Alright, hello again. So, my next point cost will be 1,000 points, I believe. Yeah. And, so, really, it's basically the same build, only with that extra 250 points, I have added one more squad, which is right here. And what it is uh, an elite choice. So, this squad has 10 Cavalite Troopborn, which are the same models as Cavalite Warriors, um, because I don't know, Games Workshop just doesn't love us or something. But so basically, they are like a special weapon squad, like Havocs for Chaos or Devastators for Space Marines and stuff like that. Um, so in this squad, I have their Splinterborn. They have 2 Splinter Cannons in the squad, and I have given them 8 Shard Carbines, which Shard Carbines, if you didn't know, are ranged 18 inches, poisoned 4 up, AP 5, usual splinter weapon, but they are assault 3. So the 18-inch range kind of sucks, but it's a lot of shots for moving for when you get up close. And they are in a Raider with Night Shields, and so basically, so everything is the same, except that these are added in as basically they just hunt infantry of any kind that they can find. So the closest thing that your enemy chooses to deploy against them is probably going to be the first thing in the game to die. Because with this squad, you get, well, let's see, 24 shots plus either 8 more or 12 more from one squad that's always going to hit on a 3-up and always going to wound on a 4-up. So it's a lot of shots, and I mean, I've shot at Wraith Lords and big monstrous creatures from Tyranids like Tervagons or Swarm Lords, and in one round of shooting, one squad of Trueborn will take one of those monstrous creatures out that are usually very hard to kill. And so usually, if there's big monstrous creatures on the board like that, then they'll go after that. But if it's just infantry, then they'll go after kind of a universal thing for Dark Eldar is they'll go after a smaller squad first, and then maybe another smaller squad or a squad that's a little bit bigger, and then they'll move on to the big squads. Because when you pick on the little squads, it's an easy kill, and which means it's an easy pain token, which is a universal rule for Dark Eldar, if you didn't know, where whenever you kill a squad, that unit that killed the squad gets a pain token. And when the squad has one pain token, they get Feel No Pain, which is very handy for us. But it does kind of suck because they changed Feel No Pain, so it's a 5-up, and you can take it against anything. It's just a 5-up invulnerable save against unsaved wounds. But the only thing about it is that if it would cause instant death, then you don't get the Feel No Pain. So Feel No Pain did kind of get nerfed with us because, I mean, we just don't use it as much anymore, or it's not as useful as us anymore because, I mean, strength 6 weapons insta-kill us, which is kind of a downer, but that's why we like cover, because we get cover saves against everything. So I'm really not going to talk as much about this list because I just went over it in the 750 point list, but I'll do a quick go over. So what you do is with the 2 squads of the 5 Cavalites and the Venom, where the Venoms have Night Shields and an extra Splinter Cannon each, and the Cavalites inside have a blaster, you drop off the Cavalites on an objective, move out the Venoms, and shoot at infantry or monstrous creatures. You take the Reavers, and you send them, you keep them in reserve usually, and then when your enemy moves up, they come in from reserve, you fly over all the infantry, and you get a whole bunch of hits on them, and then the Witches, they move up 6 inches with the vehicle, disembark 6 inches, assault 12 inches, or up to 12 inches. So usually you'll get in pretty close. It might take 2 turns, but Usually I can get in one or two. I don't think it's ever taken me 3 turns to get into close combat with them. But if you know that you can't get in the first turn, then you just move the full 12 inches and then 6 inches and disembark 6. And then these will stay inside this vehicle until it gets popped, which, because of Jink, which I love, our transports last a lot longer, which has helped our army out a lot. Because one of the things that used to happen with Dark Eldar is you just had to expect that your vehicles were going to explode. That's what we get for flying around cardboard boxes. So, but the nice thing on these raiders, which I didn't mention in the last video, after you disembark, say, the witches, then their raider can either follow them around, which they usually won't need to because they'll take a unit and usually they might kill it in the first round, but if it's something formidable like Space Marines, they won't. And so then something will come up, another unit will say, oh shit, our buddies are dying, let's move up and help them, and then the witches will wipe that unit out, the first unit, and then just jump from unit to unit usually, which go, like I said with the Trueborn, go after the smallest squad you can find first so that they get that feel no pain so they can take some shooting while they're trying to move to the next one if it's not close enough, or just if they're failing those 4 invulnerable saves that they get in close combat. And then while you're moving these around, the Trueborn, you have them shoot at infantry, and because their vehicle is technically a separate unit, you can have the vehicle shoot at a tank that's far away while they shoot at the infantry that's close. Which Dark Lances I love a lot because of the Lance special rule. I mean, they glance Land Raiders on a 4, which is great because it's like they're a strength 10 weapon, but they're only strength 8. Which we don't have any really strength 10 weapons unless you take some of the arcane stuff for the homunculi, but which I don't take at any coven lists. And then, so that's about it for that. And with the next list, it's going to be about the same with a few more things added on, so I'll move on to that one.